So good to see everybody. So good to be here. Such a much needed feeling of warmth and just joy and a little bit of relief to be able to be in this room with all of you. I want to first say Yasher Koach to our Cooperberg Master Rabbinical intern David E. Litzer. This was his first time leading Friday night services. So truly just so you all know, it's not easy to be up here. He might make it look easy, which you did, David, and you did a beautiful job, but it is nerve-wracking to be up here facing all of you, and it's... You're a tough crowd. No, I'm just joking, but it's a pleasure and to be able to watch these incredible young students who we've had such incredible interns throughout the years. David is my 5th intern who I've had the pleasure of working with, and it's such a joy to witness you blossom and continue to grow and learn. So Yasher Koach, and such an amazing Yasher Koach to Cantor Rosen and to Joyce for bringing Cantor Abelson, Bob, into the room. I, of course, remember your installation and him and his larger-than-life personality and also his light, as you spoke about so beautifully, Joyce. And thank you for the tribute, and thank you for the soul-lifting music. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's been a horrible week, hasn't it? It's a little hard to get up here and have to start the drash in a way of talking about what a terrible week it's been, but it has been a horrible week in the United States, and there's not much else to say about it. It's been bone-chilling, it's been nightmare and anxiety-inducing. It's been a really challenging week to be a human being looking around at what is happening and trying to take it in any kind of rational way. ICE, emboldened by the power given to them by the United States government, shot a woman in broad daylight. They went straight to the most violent action, not just because they could, although clearly they can without consequence, but because they wanted to. They wanted to feel their own power, and they wanted to make us feel it too. And then, perhaps most upsetting of all, the government has now been talking about this altercation as though it was inevitable, or self-defense, or asking us to believe that killing is just a natural byproduct of life in our current state, and that there is no major crime here. But make no mistake, this was a murder. The ICE officers wanted to exercise their ability to strike fear in everyone around them, and they wanted to wield that, and they did so brazenly without giving it a second thought. And in their wake, they have now left one more person dead. Not the first one they have killed, and unfortunately, most likely not the last. But as Judaism teaches us relentlessly, each human being is an entire world. And this woman, Renee Nicole Good, was an entire world. The world is now less good and less kind with her not in it. She was a lesbian, a poet, and a mother. She leaves behind a wife, Becca, who was with her in the car when this happened, and 3 children, a 15-year-old, a 12-year-old, and a 6-year-old, and I am sure to them, she was their entire world. So how do we deal with the weight of witnessing human cruelty on this scale, on this level, in broad daylight, so brazenly? How do our souls handle trying to survive normal life when we know this phenomenal cruelty is taking place all around us? This is not a small question. This is a question we will unfortunately have to continue asking ourselves as we live through what is coming next. So it is from this place of trying to find solace for our spirits that I would like to enter the drash. As a rabbi, it's my job, or maybe it's even more than my job, it's my disposition to find Torah in everyday life. But this week, I don't have to look that hard to see the parallels of this week's Parshat Shemot, as David reminded us, and what is happening in our country. We've entered the book of Exodus, and we are now generations removed from the immediate descendants of Jacob, who came to Egypt to join Joseph from Canaan long ago. The Torah tells us, Vayakom melech chadash al Mitzrayim asher lo yada et Yosef. A new king arose over Egypt who did not know Joseph. There's a debate among the rabbinic commentators. Was it really a new king, a melech chadash, or was this just the same king, but with new and harsher and crueler laws? Was he new because he was really new, or was he new because now that Joseph had died, he knew that he could get away with the new cruelty? Vayakom melech chadash, we also now live in a time with a new evil. But is it really new, or is it just an old evil that we've known all along with new unchecked power? That is the new Pharaoh that we read about in this Parsha, a Pharaoh with new unchecked power. What does he do with this power? He acts out of fear. Fear that there are people in his land who are not from there, the Israelites, who he worries will become too numerous and will overtake him. So he reacts with cruelty. He imposes work quotas and restrictions on them. He makes their lives bitter and harsh. But when even this isn't enough, he resorts to killing. And for this, he goes to the midwives, to Shifra and Pua, and he says, when you are attending the births of the Hebrew women, it is now the law that you must kill any baby boys. Do not let them live. However, the midwives did something extremely brave. They didn't do as they were ordered. They resisted. And here we get to something very important. Usually when we read through the Exodus narrative, we place ourselves in the mindset or in the narrative of the Israelites. This makes sense. We're supposed to do that, not just on Passover, but also throughout the year, because this is our history, our story, our narrative. But this year, for many of us in the United States, we are not the Israelites. We have to now read the story as though we are the midwives. We are the ones with the ability to resist. The text tells us they did not do as the king of Egypt had told them. They let the boys live. The Midrash of this verse says, this is a redundant sentence. We know what the decree was. Don't let the boys live. The text could have just said, the midwives did not do as they were told. Full stop. Why do we need to add the second sentence, they let the boys live? The Midrash gives us two answers. It says this extra sentence teaches us it's not merely that they let them live, but actually that they kept them alive. It was an active form of resistance. Not just that they passively let them live, they actively kept them alive. So that not only did they not fulfill Pharaoh's command, but they went beyond that and performed good deeds for their benefit. For example, some of the Israelites, it says, were poor women, and the midwives would go and collect food and water from the homes of the wealthy women and would come and give it to the poor women. Additionally, the Midrash says, this sentence means that they would stand in prayer and say before the Holy One, you know that we did not fulfill Pharaoh's command. It is your words that we seek to fulfill. Lord of the universe, may this child emerge in peace. So we must now, in our time, in this time of new harsh decrees, we must now become the midwives. And how beautiful that the Midrash itself gives us two avenues towards doing that. We must engage both the work of our hands and also the work of our hearts. We must try and go above and beyond where we can in helping to keep others alive, and that if we can't do that, we can at least pray. And we can pray their prayer, their beautiful prayer. Lord of the universe, you know that we do not seek to fulfill the commands of evil. Please may all human life emerge from this moment in peace. So two avenues, the work of our hands and the work of our hearts. I'll start with the work of our hands because it's helpful to have something to do that's not just worry, or let's be honest, doom scroll and worry. So what can we tangibly do? I want to give a few resources. So I have some props and some details to let you all know about. So first I want to say that we can carry a whistle. When ICE invaded Chicago, there's a practice that started out of Chicago, but it's also now being encouraged in New York, that everyone can carry a whistle, and that there are two different types of blasts you can sound. And I'm going to show you. Here's my prop. So I want to say thank you, first of all, to Rabbi Klein, who made sure that we had whistles to give out to everybody, and we'll put them on the table outside so that everybody can take if they want. And I want to say thank you to our friends at the Beacon who made these beautiful cards that you can also take, and there should be enough for everybody to have one, but if not, you can ask me and I'll make sure that you get one. There are these cards that tell you the different types of blasts that you can sound when you are trying to protect your friends and neighbors from ice. So the first is that you can blow in 3 short bursts, and that alerts the community that ice agents are in the area. And the second, if there is, if ice is actively detaining somebody, you blow in long blasts, 3 long blasts, and that helps everybody know that there is an active detaining happening. And then you can form a crowd all together, stay loud, witness, make sure that they don't. You can videotape. You can obviously you have to. Feel safe your own self, but these are at least 2 different ways that you can be ready to help out your community when, God forbid, something like this happens. The whistles that we brought can go on your keychain, so you can have it with you at all times. I did just put one on my own keychain. I do just want to say that I was the one who cut these papers, and that is not the reason that I became a rabbi. So they are not good. So I apologize for the uneven cutting, but it's okay. You'll understand. You'll get. It's okay. You'll understand. I should say that's just not the reason anybody hired me. It's not. So that's the first thing, is that there's actually something you can tangibly carry with you, and know that you can be a help to those who are in need or in danger. The second thing is that you can get out there. You can get loud, and we can call upon the tradition of the midwives and Shemot, and we cannot comply in advance. So before I tell you a little bit about different ways of doing that, I want to bring in the powerful words of Dr. Tressie McMillan Cottom, who is a different kind of midwife, one who is trying to birth a new future. And here are her just incredible words that I have to share with you this evening. She said, "When people try to sell you on the idea that the future is already settled, it is because it is deeply unsettled. If they can get us to accept that the future is already settled, then we will create that for them. My most daring idea," she says, "is to refuse. There is a proposal for a future where we will not stop making human beings, but those human beings will be treated inhumanely. And I refuse. The most daring idea is to refuse to let those in positions of harsh power define the future for this country, for us. Refuse to go along with it. Refuse to live life on their terms where some human beings are treated as inhuman." So you can go to protests. This weekend, I want to highlight 2 different protests that are happening. There are Ice Out for Good, Ice Out of New York or wherever you are in the world, Ice Out for Good protests happening all over the country. There is one happening in New York on Sunday. I believe it starts at 2 p.m. and it's at 1 Pulitzer Plaza, or perhaps it's at 1 p.m. or 2 p.m., but you can go online to mobilize.us. You can type in where you are. You can type in New York City. You can type in any other place, and it will tell you all of the actions that are happening in your area. And believe me, there are plenty, but you'll see that there is a Ice Out for Good action happening on Sunday. There is also a Together We Win NYC rally for trans kids happening tomorrow. And that's happening tomorrow at Union Square at 1 p.m. And I believe Rabbi Klein will be there. So after our wonderful adult bar mitzvah that's happening here in the building, if you'd like to be with Rabbi Klein and others for the rally for trans kids, that's happening at Union Square. If you're a protest person, go and be around other people who are also trying to resist fascism every day. It feels good for the soul to be surrounded by others who are also refusing. And if you're not a big protest person, which not all of us are, and it's okay to not be a big protest person, you can still go out and hold a sign for democracy every Thursday with your local beacon group. You can email Rabbi James. There are also beacon groups all around the country who are every single Thursday at, I believe it's now 5 p.m., standing out. Okay, varies. You can find out from your own group what time the timing is for you to go out, but you can go out and you can hold a sign against ICE, pro-democracy, whatever it is that you want to make sure the world hears you say. I just spoke today to a congregant of ours in Northfield, Minnesota, to Jerry Hurlbut, who said that, first of all, she said that Minnesota right now is inundated with ice. They are, and she... Oh, yes, that's true. Noemi said literally and figuratively because it's very cold there. It's true. But she said they're inundated, and she said the thing that makes her feel the most amount of hope is to stand out with like-minded people every Thursday and be able to see other people who are also actively resisting. It is an incredible, she sent a picture. It is just it's incredibly heartwarming. There is, particularly in Minnesota, but really anywhere, there's so much horribleness happening in the world. To be able to see other people who are also standing with you and strong and wanting to make sure that your voice is heard and that your light is being shined out, it means something. It does something to your soul and to your spirit to be able to be with other people in this time. There's no one right way to resist, to both resist and maintain our humanity during a time like this. It's going to take all of us, each working in our own way, each trying to bravely refuse and resist as loud as we can to move forward. Resistance takes many forms. I want to just say one other thing that you can be on the lookout for. On our website, again, thank you, big thank you to Rabbi Klein, we put up a web page, cbst.org/resist, and it will have all of the information I just shared, how to get connected with Mobilize, how to get connected with your local beacon group, if that's something you want to do, how to get connected with the ARC, with our ARC immigration clinic, and the information about the actions happening this weekend. All of that will be on that webpage. So if you would like to go to cbst.org/resist, you'll be able to get more information, and you can also be on the lookout from email from us going forward. So that is major ways that the work of your hands can be engaged in resisting. But I can't end without asking, what about our hearts? So I return to the question I started with. How do we carry the weight, the burden of seeing so much human cruelty all around us? How do we maintain our souls and our sanity during this time? There's a poem that I keep returning to, one that has been sustaining me through a lot, not just this most recent disaster, but from the past few weeks, and I have a feeling I will continue to return to it in the coming days. It is by Allen Ginsberg. I believe it's called Song. And in the poem it says, "The weight is too heavy," which is how I feel right now. The weight feels too heavy to hold. But he also says, the weight of the world is love. And it is this that I keep returning to over and over and over again. Because yes, it is too heavy. It is meant to be heavy. Because the weight of the world is love. Our hearts are meant to be broken over this. We are meant to be tearful and worried and afraid because we love one another, because life and justice matters to us, because this world means something. The weight of the world is love. And like the midwives before us, we are meant to desire life and fight against ruthlessness every chance we get. We are meant to caretake and find the places of holiness even in a seemingly unholy world. This is the only way out of the disaster: to refuse, to resist, and to love, which is an act of holy resistance all by itself. So let yourself continue to love so much that it hurts, so much that it breaks your heart, and let the weight of the world continue to be love. Shabbat Shalom.